Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. The Corning Museum of Glass is getting into the fall spirit with some special themed exhibits and some hands-on activities for the public. Our Josh Stuttle stopped by to see it firsthand.
The holidays are almost here, and the Corning Museum of Glass has something for everyone. The Corning Museum of Glass has some of the most important collection of glass ever made. And this holiday season, you can create a glass pumpkin of your very own. Each pumpkin pendant is handcrafted and designed by you from beginning to end. The make-your-own glass pumpkins will run from now until November 20th. And for a limited time, you can also visit the world's largest pumpkin. Eric Meek, the senior manager of Hot Glass Programs, explains.
Myself and a team of 8 other glassmakers made these world's largest glass pumpkins back in 2009. They weigh 70 pounds and have a circumference of about 8 feet. This year, for the first time, we're doing something called the Great Glass Pumpkin Experiment. So for the next 2 Saturdays, you can come and watch our glassmakers make an amazing creation based on pumpkins.
Daniel Kramer has been visiting the Corning Museum of Glass for many years. The Glass Museum has become a special place for him and his family.
Well, we started coming about 10, 12 years ago, and it became an annual rite of passage with our daughter. So we would come every single year to visit the museum in the fall, and it just became the thing we have to do every single fall.
For more information on other opportunities offered by the Corning Museum of Glass, visit home.cmog.org. Josh Stuttle, Big Fox News, Corning.
News that a missing New York girl has been found alive, bringing cheers to those gathered at the state park where she was last seen. 9-year-old Charlotte Senna, who police say had been abducted while riding her bike at the Moreau Lake State Park on Saturday evening, was rescued by officers Monday. She was reportedly found inside a cabinet in the camper of the suspect. That suspect, Craig Nelson Ross Jr., has been charged with kidnapping. Police say they got a break in the case when they were able to trace a ransom note left at the Sena family home back to the suspect. The Elmira Police Department participating in Domestic Violence Awareness Month. They've added purple ribbons to their uniforms to recognize victims of domestic violence. On Monday, Mayor Mandel signed a proclamation recognizing October as Domestic Violence Month in Elmira. The Chemung County Chamber of Commerce and the Manufacturing Institute are teaming up for the Made in the Southern Tier Manufacturing Day Expo. It will take place this Saturday at GST BOCES campus on Philo Road in Elmira starting at 9 a.m. Students and teachers will have the chance to meet with manufacturing companies across the region to learn more about their work and the products they make in the Southern Tier. Republicans are left picking up the pieces after voting out their House Speaker, and the first piece they have to deal with is who will take Kevin McCarthy's place. Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Congress thrown into chaos after Kevin McCarthy was voted out of a job Tuesday. Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz launched the move to oust the former speaker, accusing McCarthy of breaking promises to hardline conservatives. 7 more Republicans and all Democrats joined him.
This is a guy who was willing to partner with conservatives on the frivolous, but whenever there was a spending matter, he partnered with Democrats.
McCarthy, who's not running for the gavel again, says he doesn't regret making compromises.
I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance.
Without a speaker, the House is essentially in a state of paralysis, and it's unclear how long the role will stay open.
Right now, there's no ability to do anything on the House floor. We set out a schedule to get all of our work done by the end of October. That schedule is now going to get tossed out of the window.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise is already making calls to his Republican colleagues, looking to shore up support to replace McCarthy. But the House is even more divided now. McCarthy's race in January took 15 rounds over 5 days, so landing on a winning candidate could take a while.
The Republican caucus needs to fix its own politics.
House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan has confirmed he will run to be the next speaker, but a vote won't come until Tuesday or Wednesday at the earliest. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
The United Auto Workers strike is having a major economic impact on the auto industry, causing some of the nation's top car makers to make cuts to their non-union staff. Ted Linder takes a look at some of the latest side effects that car makers say are a result of the picket lines.
Some of the nation's top automakers are slamming on the brakes, furloughing and laying off thousands of non-union employees, citing the continuation of the United Auto Workers strike as their reason.
Everyone is definitely paying attention to what's going on.
Ford, which laid off 600 workers at a plant in Michigan last month, furloughed 330 more people in Chicago and in Ohio this week. In a statement, the company said, quote, "Our production system is highly interconnected, which means the UAW's targeted strike strategy has knock-on effects for facilities that are not directly targeted for a work stoppage." Since the UAW strike began last month, General Motors has laid off more than 2,100 workers in 4 states. Stellantis has furloughed about 370 workers. UAW officials believe the layoffs are a tactic automakers are using to try and get the union to settle.
We're fighting for our rights. We're fighting for our pay. We're fighting for what we gave up during the bankruptcy.
Since the union called more workers to hit the picket lines last week, about 25,000 UAW workers in total are now striking, calling for better pay, benefits, and job security.
There's people here that's just here and you know, working on tier wages with hyperinflation. It's crazy. I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't. I'm struggling.
The strike is now in its 3rd week. According to data from consulting firm Anderson Economic Group, the first 2 weeks of the strike have resulted in about $3.9 billion in losses for the auto industry. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Former President Donald Trump heading back to court in New York today, where he is facing trial for business fraud. It's day 3 of court for the ex-president, and despite a state court judge issuing a gag order in the case, Trump still blasted the investigation as a corrupt political attack.
Borrowed money on a building or something, many different things. I borrowed the money, I paid back the money in full, 100%. There were no defaults, there were no letters of reprimand, the banks were extremely happy, and in many cases I paid the money back early. And then I got sued years later by this horrible attorney general, this woman that ran for governor and failed.
Your complete forecast is next. Plus, the housing market continues to tighten due to decades-high mortgage rates. How it's impacting first-time home buyers. That's coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, the summer conditions here in October continues to push on. We have that bright blue sky and temperatures climbing at least into those mid-80s. Now, not totally unusual, but definitely more rare, especially to see the longevity of the heat that is in place as we have at least one more day of the sunshine and those temperatures building. Now, note that although it's feeling like summer, when we look at the month change up of the satellite across much of New York, you can see there's more of that rustic color. So we're going from that very vibrant green in August, at the end of August, I should say, to that changing color in just a month. And we do see peak color occur within about the next 2 weeks. So note that the changing leaves will continue to happen drastically, especially once it gets a little more influence of some cooler air, because we've been definitely staying summer-like, maybe making those trees a little confused. But as we have one last day nearing those records again, we will see that heading into our Friday, we'll start to turn conditions to the more fall-like pattern where, one, we're going to note that it might be still a little mild to start the day, but by the end of the day, rain showers move in, which hold those temperatures back a bit. Now, those rain showers is going to have a nice pull of some moisture, and there is some outlook of some potential heavy rain from Friday night into Saturday morning that we'll be watching. And then we're going to hold to an active weather pattern under a low pressure system that will bring several rain chances as well as some cooler temperatures. Now, still heading up into our Thursday, we note that we have that warmth in place, foggy in the morning into those 50s, and then we head through those 70s 70s towards those 80s. Now, the good news is that when we're in this time of the year, there's not really much when it comes down to humidity. So feel like temperatures there staying exactly where they should be at those temperatures. But we do have that southerly wind still intact that's giving us that potential to climb to those 80s. So south-southeasterly wind still staying light and keeping those temperatures at least about 15 degrees above normal. So as we see across the area climbing into those 80s, we will signal a little bit of cloud cover. There is that partly cloudy icon showing increasing clouds ahead of our next system. Now we'll still stay mild as mentioned into our Friday, where we will start off the day into those lower 60s, looking at potential record warm low temperatures as we see this trend. And then we'll note though that as we head into Friday afternoon, we'll only head from 60s to about 70s. So there's only about a 10-degree temperature change there, and 70s is still above normal, but it's pulling back from those 80s. And then as mentioned, by the end of the day, we'll have widespread showers uptick that will hold into that Saturday. And on top of dealing with rain and cooling potential, we will have an influence of some stronger winds, especially as that cooler air starts to push in into our Sunday. Sunday looking to be the breeziest day at about 30 miles per hour. And that's when that cold front drops in, which will drop those temperatures down into those 50s. So pretty drastic change is coming up. So it might be time to pull out some of those warmer layers and make sure to grab those dry layers, as we'll keep some rain chances through early next week.